It's day 6 of your no-buy challenge, and you're sitting on the floor, surrounded by 3 bags of stuff you swore you wouldn't buy. You're not lazy, you're not bad with money, and last week you were certain this time would be different. Right now, millions of people are doing the exact same challenge. No spending, full reset, new year, new you. Most of them will be exactly where you are by the end of the month. And here's the part nobody tells them. It's not that they lack discipline. It's that the no-buy challenge, the way almost everyone does it, quietly trains your brain to spend more than if you'd never started. And the strangest part, the people who actually break the cycle don't do a no-buy at all. They do something that sounds almost backwards, the opposite of restriction. Stick with me, because once you see what's really happening in your brain here, you can't unsee it, and it changes how you spend for good. Here's the strange part. The no-buy works brilliantly, for about 9 days. In week 1, it feels incredible. For the first time in months, you're in control. The rule is so clean. Buy nothing. No gray areas, no spreadsheets, no tracking. Just one bright line. And that clean, total control is exactly why millions are reaching for it right now. Heading into 2026, around 93% of people said they wanted to change how they handle money. Over half were carrying regret from last year. Over half said the stress was getting worse. So when someone hands you a single dramatic rule that promises to fix all of it, of course you grab it. But watch what happens next. Because the exact thing that makes the no-buy feel so powerful in week 1 is the thing that detonates it in week 2. That bright, rigid line ignores the one factor that decides whether any money habit survives or blows up. Rules don't fail, willpower does. So here's what's actually happening inside your head the moment you go no-buy. 3 traps, and your brain walks straight into all 3. Trap 1. Willpower isn't a character trait, it's a fuel tank. You wake up with a full tank, but every decision you make all day quietly drains it. What to wear, what to eat, what to reply to. So by 9 p.m., running on empty, scrolling in bed, the no-buy doesn't stand a chance. You didn't cave in the evening because you're weak. You caved because you'd already spent all day burning the exact fuel the challenge runs on. And a no-buy asks you to win that fight every single day, all day, for a month. Your willpower runs out. The cravings don't. Trap 2 is the one that does the real damage, and it happens somewhere you can't see, inside your brain's reward system. Here's the thing about spending. Every purchase gives you a tiny hit of dopamine, the same chemical behind every craving you've ever had. It's a reward loop. Now watch what a no-buy does to that loop. You don't just spend less, you slam the reward off completely, overnight. And your brain does not read that as discipline. It reads it as a threat. Something it relies on just vanished, so it flips into what scientists call seeking mode. Hunting, scanning, turning the volume up on every want. Suddenly, the thing you didn't even care about last week is all you can think about. That craving isn't a sign you're failing, it's your brain doing exactly what it evolved to do the second you take its reward away. You didn't get weaker, you made your brain louder. Restriction makes the craving stronger. Trap 3, and if this one sounds familiar, it should. You've lived it before, with food. Swear off chocolate completely, and you're a saint for 3 days. By day 4, your brain is screaming. By the weekend, you've eaten the whole bar, not one square. A no-buy is just a crash diet for your wallet. Restriction builds pressure behind a wall, and walls don't leak, they burst. And the binge that follows costs you more than a normal month ever would. For most people who try it, that's not the risk. That's the default. So watch the full cycle, because this is where the real damage is. Week 1, motivation. You feel powerful. Week 2, the cravings build. Every shop window is louder. Week 3, the crack. One small purchase to take the edge off. And then the collapse. The late night cart. The I've already broken it, so what's the point spiral. You spend in a weekend what the challenge was supposed to save in a month. But here's the most expensive part, and it isn't the money. It's the story you tell yourself afterward. I can't stick to anything. I'm just bad with money. That shame is the real cost. Because next time someone offers you a tool that would work, you won't trust yourself to use it. You've been taught by a challenge that was rigged against your biology that the problem is you. The problem was never you. It was the tool. You didn't fail the challenge failed you. So here's what actually works, and the whole idea is simple. Stop relying on willpower. Start designing your environment so the better choice happens on its own. You're not going to try harder. You're going to make spending slightly inconvenient and saving completely automatic, and then let the system carry you. 4 moves. 1. Add friction to spending. Right now, your phone is built to make buying frictionless. One tap, saved card, done. So reverse it. Delete your saved card details. Log out of the shopping apps or delete them. Make yourself re-enter everything by hand, every single time. That 10 seconds of friction is enough to let the craving pass. You're not forbidding the purchase. You're just putting a speed bump between the impulse and the checkout. 2. Automate the good before you can touch it. The second your paycheck lands, an automatic transfer moves money into savings before your brain ever sees it as spendable. You don't budget what's left after spending. You spend what's left after saving. And because it's automatic, it runs even on the days your willpower is gone. 3. Replace the dopamine. Don't just delete it. This is the step the no-buy skips entirely. If spending was your reward, you can't just remove it and leave a hole. That's what sends your brain into seeking mode. So give it something else. A walk, a workout, cooking something good, logging the money you didn't spend, and watching the number climb. Your brain still gets a hit. It just stops coming from your wallet. 4. Turn it into a game, not a punishment. Here's the reframe that changes everything. Don't ban spending. Add one playful rule that forces a pause. A 24-hour wait on anything over a set amount. A 1 in, 1 out rule for clothes. Spend freely on the 2 things you genuinely love, and cut hard on everything you won't even remember next week. When mindful spending becomes a game instead of a prison, you actually keep playing it. And mindful spenders, study after study, simply buy less, without ever white-knuckling a single day. Make the good choice the easy choice. So if you're sitting in the wreckage of a broken no-buy right now, you don't need more discipline. You never did. You need a system that works even on the days you don't. Restriction relies on a version of you that's always strong, always rested, always motivated. That person doesn't exist. Systems are built for the real you, tired, busy, human, and they keep working anyway. Pick one move from this video, just one. Delete the saved card, set up the automatic transfer, start today. Because wealth isn't built in a heroic 30-day sprint of saying no. It's built quietly, in the background, by a system you set up once and then let compound. Don't spend less, design a life where you don't have to try. If this reframed how you think about your own spending, subscribe. Every week, we break down the psychology behind the money decisions you didn't know you were making. And tell me in the comments, which of the 4 moves are you setting up first? I read every one.